Yeah, thank you, Jason. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in. My name is Carl Eckert. I am the co-founder of Amelia, and we're helping companies drive and understand employee happiness. I'd love to show you how this works, so please meet Anna. Anna is the Chief People Officer at Asana, a paying customer of ours. And in the past, Anna was using apps like Headspace to offer mental health resources to her people. Unfortunately, in the workplace, apps like Headspace tend to have really poor engagement, and there's no way for HR to track outcomes. So Anna ultimately switched over to Amelia because our engagement was 3 times higher than that of Headspace. This is because of a very personalized and data-driven approach that we're taking to provide the right recommendation at the right time for the right person. So employees can come in, they can pick a focus, they can rate their sleep, rate their stress, and then they get access to 3 different types of content: meditation, breath work, and yoga. They can also sync a wearable device like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch to see the way that their practice is improving their physical health. And in time, this allows us to develop high quality user data on each person and provide more effective recommendations. What really sets our product apart is the way that we communicate value back to HR. At any point in time, people ops can come in and they can look at metrics that they actually care about, things like user growth and engagement, top programs and priorities for employees, and even changes to resting heart rate and other health outcomes like improvements to sleep. We are definitely in a competitive space, but we differentiate primarily with our personalized approach, the fact that you can sync a wearable, and the way that we keep the app free for employees by the way that we communicate value back to HR. Again, we will win the market because our engagement is 3 times higher that of the competition, and we attribute this to structural differentiations with the product. Our business model is relatively straightforward. We charge $5 to $8 per employee per month, and this varies based off company size. We've been super busy since the start of the pandemic. We launched in March and have seen crazy demand for mental health and well-being resources to date, which is evidenced in our month-over-month growth. Engagement, again, is what HR cares about the most, and ours is significantly above the industry standard of 6%. And this has allowed us to develop a scalable revenue platform where we have doubled our revenue each quarter, and we're expecting to be profitable by 2021. We're working with some incredible brands that care about their people and want to build a better business from the inside out. And the road to 100 million is pretty straightforward if we grow 10x every year from now till 2024. And this is entirely doable. We follow the same go-to-market strategy that's similar to Slack and other B2B products of demonstrating viral growth on the bottom level with the users like employees, and then moving forward to HR. There's a team back in the space. It's ours. I'm a former investment banker, and my co-founders worked in tech and product at companies like Yelp and a YC-backed startup. I'm out of time, but thank you so much, and I would love to answer any other questions.
All right, well done, Carl. Okay, Paige, a question for Carl. And please introduce yourself first.
Great. I'm Pedro Mora from Rhapsody Venture Partners in Boston. Our typical check size is anywhere from 500K to 2 million, and we invest mostly in hard tech startups, but we're looking to expand beyond that. So we'll see if there are any that are of interest. So my question is around data security and data privacy for the employees. I think data privacy is probably the only thing that people care about as much as or more than mental health. So my question is, how do you ensure that the employees of these companies are okay with sharing data like heart rate, et cetera, with HR? Thanks.
All right, thanks. Thank you. Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel Horowitz. I head up BD and partnerships at Zola and also Scout and Angel Invest on the side. I am curious to hear a little bit more about your go-to-market motion. Wasn't quite sure if it's a sales-driven approach or a bottoms-up from the employees. So just curious to hear a little bit about that.
All right, thanks. Scott.
Hi, Scott Coleman from Ignition Partners. We invest in seed and Series A in B2B software. And our typical check sizes for seed are 500K, and for Series A are 3 to 5 million. My question comes to the notion of engagement versus impact. And when an HR department buys software, they tend to start with the notion of engagement, who's using it, how, and so on. But renewals will only happen if there's impact. in my view, and that's why nobody buys software because they want to. They buy it because they have to. And so I get that you're early in cycle and you haven't had renewals yet, but how do you think of pitching the impact of this to your existing customers when those renewals do come up?
All right. Thanks, Scott. And Vinny, hi.
Hi, I'm Vinny. I'm an angel investor, and just do write checks for between 25 and 100K. I've done probably close to about 100 investments so far. I'm also a shark on Shark Tank South Africa, but that's another story altogether. Thanks for the presentation, really great. What I see in the market with these products, and I get a couple of free ones, or I get a couple of the existing ones paid by like affinity programs. I think it was American Express who gave. It was in Headspace or Calm or one of those things free to all their platinum card holders or whatever it is. And I've seen other programs like that. So my question is, do you have any plans to work with affinity programs instead of just companies where they have large swaths of users or card holders where they'd be willing to subsidize it and pay for it?
All right, great, thanks. And Syndicate, there's a number of questions from the Syndicate about these privacy issues. A couple more would be, is your current revenue 8K per month or per quarter? That maybe wasn't unclear. That was from Hanny. And Matt is asking, have you had discussion with EAP plans? If so, can you elaborate? It's a lot, but do your best.
Okay, great. Yeah. So Paige and everyone else who asked about privacy, this is pretty straightforward. All of our data is aggregated and nothing is individualized. We anonymize all of our data, and employees know this from day one. So they feel very comfortable sharing outcomes with us because it's all done on a high level basis. Happy to answer more about that later. Rachel, in terms of go to market, it's both sales driven and bottoms up. So, I mean, I'm spending a lot of my time reaching out to HR and pitching the value prop of having happier and healthier people. And at the same time, I'm getting my friends who work at great companies to download our app and then use that sort of viral growth as a way to pitch HR and say, look, your people are already using it. You might as well try it out on more of at scale. Engagement versus impact, Scott, totally agree with you. I mean, we used to talk about, on day one with HR teams about, what the benefits of better mental health could have for your bottom line and for things like sleep and heart rate and real sort of health driven outcomes. But they were like, yeah, that's great. But first show me that people use this, because people don't use your competitors. So if people use you, that's already impactful enough. So that's what we're really focused on. And then we'll start connecting the dots elsewhere. Vinny, do we have plans to work with affinity programs? I think we're really focused on the workplace today, but always open-minded when there's a real need to hit and work with other sorts of people. But right now it's definitely B2B. Current revenue, it's around 5K per month. Sorry, that was all done on a month-over-month basis, but our revenue fluctuates each quarter based on our sales cycle. We're not working with any EAPs or insurance, but that's definitely in the roadmap for the future. We're really focused on the workplace today. Hopefully I got to everything there, but if not, please ping me and I'll get back to you.